Community Development Committee meeting to order. We'll begin with the Dakota Land, Water, and People Acknowledgment. The Metropolitan Council acknowledges that the land we currently call Minnesota, and specifically the 7-county region, is the ancestral homeland of the Dakota Oyate, who are present and active contributors to our thriving region. As part of the Metropolitan Council's commitment to address the unresolved legacy of genocide, dispossession, and settler colonialism, and the fact that government institutions, including the Metropolitan Council, benefited economically, politically, and institutionally after the forcible removal of the Dakota Oyate, the Metropolitan Council is dedicated to instilling land, water, and people commitments in regional policy. These commitments support the Dakota Oyate, the 11 federally recognized tribes in Minnesota, Ho-Chunk Nation, and the American Indian communities representing over 150 diverse tribal nations that call the 7-county region home. Thank you very much. Without discontent, I'll consider the agenda before us today approved. Thank you. And the November 3rd, 2025 Community Development Committee minutes are before you. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Thank you. Moved by Councilman Wolf.
Second.
Second by Councilman Cameron. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of approving the November 3rd minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the minutes are approved. We'll move on to the consent business. We have one item on the agenda. It is 2025-295, City of Norwood, Young America, Residential Densities Comprehensive Plan Amendment Review. Review file 22238-7. And John James is here to share with us, I think.
This is on consent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Consent item. Is there a motion, please?
Move approval.
Second.
Thank you. So I believe,
Wolf.
thank you, Councilmember Wolf and Councilmember Chambliss. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, without discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, or nay. Thank you. And the item is approved. We'll move on to our non-consent business, and we have two items on the agenda. The first of which is 2025-296, to amend the scope of Minneapolis Upper Harbor LCDA Development Grant. And we have with us Nicole Clapp, who is here for Kelly. Nicole, yes. Thank you. There you are already.
On the ball. Good afternoon, Chair and Council members of the CDC. As said, I'm here in Kelly Nesworthy's stead as she couldn't be here today. So I'm the grant manager for CD and MTS. My name is Nicole Clapp and my pronouns are she, her. So the action before you today is to approve an amendment to the Upper Harbor Livable Communities Demonstration Account Development Grant. This amendment would do two things. First, it would extend the term of the grant by 2 additional years from December 31st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. Second, it would update the project scope and outcomes to reflect the changes requested to maintain financial feasibility of the project. We do also have a representative named Devin here from the Upper Harbor Development Team, should there be any questions from the committee members. Oops. Okay, so for a little bit of background, the Upper Harbor project was awarded $2 million in LCDA development grant funds in 2022. This grant supports the redevelopment of a former industrial site at 3700 Washington Avenue North in Minneapolis. The broader vision for Upper Harbor is a mixed-use, mixed-income community that will provide affordable housing and new commercial space as part of a larger riverfront transformation effort. When the project was originally awarded, it proposed a 7-story apartment building with 190 affordable units, along with 9,300 square feet of commercial space and 22 for-sale townhomes, 18 of those being affordable and 4 being market rate. This site has also benefited from some earlier LCA grants, including a pre-development grant in 2019 and a TBRA seed grant in 2015. So on September 26, 2025, the City of Minneapolis submitted a formal request to amend the grant. The city requested a 2-year administrative extension as well as changes to the project outcomes. The proposed revisions include a reduction in the number of apartment units from 190 down to 136, a decrease in the commercial space from 9,300 square feet to 5,000 square feet, and the elimination of the for-sale townhomes from the project scope. The revised project will continue to deliver 136 deeply affordable housing units and retains a commercial component that supports the mixed-use vision for the site. The development team anticipates securing all remaining financing by spring of 2026, allowing construction to proceed shortly thereafter. So the table on this slide just outlines the difference in the affordability bands and number of units across all of those bands from the original to the proposed new scope. Because the amendment changes the number of housing units by more than 20%, it requires the Community Development Committee's approval under the Livable Communities Grant Amendment Policy. Council staff rescored the project to evaluate the impact of the proposed changes and found that the project would still have received full funding based on the current evaluation criteria. The staff findings note that the project continues to provide a significant number of deeply affordable units. It retains a strong mix of 3-bedroom family units. The job creation and equity outcomes remain consistent with the original proposal, and the requested 24-month extension is allowable under the council's LCA grant amendment policy for administrative adjustments. So based on those findings, the staff recommend approval of the amendment and the revised project summary as shown in attachment 2 of your business item. So, Chair and council members, the proposed action before you is that the Community Development Committee approve the amendments to the Upper Harbor LCDA Development Grant, extending the term through December 31st, 2027, and approving the revised project scope and outcomes as described in attachment 2 of your business item. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Nicole, for the presentation. It's good to see the project coming back before us, and I will look for questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilmember Wolf.
Just one question. Clearly, it meets the rules to continue to be funded, but is the new project in a smaller footprint so that additional development can occur in the future, or does this change preclude additional development?
Chair and Councilmember Wolf, great question. I don't have a lot of the details, but I would defer to our development partner, Devin, to address those questions.
Thank you very much for being here with us.
What was the question?
The question was, does the change make the project in a smaller footprint so additional development can still happen, or is it just shortening the buildings and precluding additional
Yes,
development?
good question. We're just taking off maybe a wing or a few units on the ends, but the footprint, well, the height of it, we're going down. We're cutting off a floor or two to shrink down the units to kind of make it more feasible because we missed out on some of our funding. But we still have an A and a B plan, depending on these sources that we already committed, that we have committed. We may be able to stick with our original plan based on some other avenues we were trying to take that we missed out. But it was one source of funding that we just missed out on that kind of snowballed it all into it, which had some of our money that we had expiring and whatnot. So we're just trying to stop the snowball from gaining momentum and getting bigger.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Councilmember Chambliss.
Yeah, so for the floor that you cut off, was that partly commercial? Was that originally commercial on the first floor?
Yes, we're lessening our commercial space that we had on the first floor, but we're still keeping, and we're shortening some of the units too. The mix of the units is still in between maybe 20 to 30 units we may cut out But for sure, the commercial space so that we can get this back on budget.
Okay, one more question, if, Chair. If this is, we're focusing in on the scope of this project. I know some of the questions may, and your answers suggest that there might be some additional outside of the scope. That's fine with me, but I don't know if, I understand that there are times when we have to change the projects because the market changes or everything doesn't align. This is not unusual to revise the scope. I'm glad we're still able to keep a good number of affordable housing units. I know from hearing about this in the community that Upper Harbor is something that's very important to the community. And this looks like a good project, so for that reason, I'm going to be supporting it.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Chambliss. Are there other questions? Councilmember Lee?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. If the project no longer has the townhomes for sale on the very first slide, it still mentions the townhomes for sale, so I think we should edit the slides and re-upload them so that if people who aren't watching us live here right now, if they get on the website tomorrow and click through the slides, they might not be confused.
That's us.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair and
And that is-
Councilmember. I will make sure that's updated.
Thank you, Nicole, for ensuring that the slides will be edited to reflect the townhomes for sale. Are there other questions or comments? I appreciate the presentation. We all do. Thank you very much for being here, also to represent the project. We are ready for a motion on this. Is there a motion? Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendment to the project and the grant terms.
Thank you very much. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Councilmember Chambliss, seconded by Councilmember Lee. Are there any further questions? Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed, nay. Thank you very much. The item has been approved. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Second on our agenda is item number 2025-297, which are funding recommendations for our 2025 Livable Communities Affordable Home Ownership Grants. And we have with us Emily Sedan and Valerie Quarles to make a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and council members, for having us today. I am Emily Seddon. I'm the manager for the Livable Communities Grant Program here at the council, and joined by Valerie Quarles, who is a member of the Livable Communities Advisory Committee, to present these recommendations to you
Apologies
today.
for mispronouncing your name, Emily. Thank you.
That's okay. So just a brief recap. I know we have recently had other awards, but for those watching at home, the Livable Communities Grant Program is a core grant program 30 years old here at the Metropolitan Council that has goals of creating more housing choice across the region, supporting living wage jobs, reducing greenhouse gases, and conserving our natural resources. Really focusing on building those connections between housing, jobs, and amenities across the region to improve quality of life, and also creating more equitable development outcomes. The specific recommendation before you today is for the Affordable Home Ownership Grant Program within the larger umbrella of the Livable Communities Grant Program. Council in February approved $3 million out for this program this year. Projects may be new construction or rehabilitation. All types of homeownership opportunities are considered as part of this. And the homes that are either built or rehabbed and brought into the affordable portfolio must serve households that are earning 80% of the area median income or less every year. And the homes must remain affordable for a minimum of 15 years, but we often see longer through this grant program. Just a reminder about our review process that was outlined in your business item. We received 14 applications on October 1st. The Livable Communities Advisory Committee was able to review 13 of them. One did not have eligible activities within it. And today we're here presenting in front of you, and we will bring this forward for full council approval on December 3rd. The grant applications are scored on two different sets of criteria. One is a location-based score around racial equity and geographic choice goals. This is based on council census data, which we publish a map online so applicants can calculate their scores easily. Every community in the region is eligible under these location-based scores, but it helps us prioritize areas where we can help close the disparity between the homeownership rates between white and Black, Indigenous, and other communities of color, as well as making sure that we are creating affordable homeownership opportunities in areas where it's more difficult to do so. The Livable Communities Advisory Committee reviews the criteria for the grants for affordability criteria and equitable access to home ownership. I'm going to turn it over to Valerie as the Livable Communities Advisory Committee member to present the recommendation, but also want to acknowledge and thank that we have several partners of these projects in the room with us today from Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity, Homes Within Reach, and the Rondo Community Land Trust.
Thank you, Emily. As noted, my name is Valerie Quarles. I'm a senior planner at the City of St. Paul. We spent a couple of weeks reviewing a lot of really high-quality applications, and the ones in front of you are all the ones that were at the top of the list. When we finished with our ranking of each application, we reviewed 3 different funding scenarios. One was looking at what if we fully funded projects at the very top of the list and then stopped there. One that looked at if we funded as many projects as possible, but maybe with less funding per project. And then sort of a middle option that included what does it look like to have a meaningful amount of money to the most projects while making sure that that calculus gives us the most units created through the LCDA program. So that's the funding recommendation that we ended up with projects in Maplewood, Minneapolis, Minnetonka, and St. Paul. The first project is in the city of Maplewood on Duluth Street. The grant will fund 4 homes within a 5-home project. The project developed by Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity, and it should be noted also that the city and Habitat have restarted stalled projects on vacant land with this grant before, which is a really worthy cause. Within the city of Minneapolis, they're looking at rehabbing 5 homes. The grant will fund 4 of those homes in North Minneapolis. Rehabilitation will make those homes safer, more energy efficient, and functional for larger families, which is always a need within homeownership funding. And those homes will be affordable to households earning between 41% to 60% AMI. Within the city of Minnetonka, the LCDA grant will fund 6 homes within a 10 twin home project, and those homes will be affordable to households in that 60% to 80% AMI income band. And then they're also proposing a playground adjacent to those homes, so much more of a broader neighborhood development in Minnetonka. As well, from the city of Minnetonka, but could apply outside of the city, Homes Within Reach has partnered with the city for many years on applying for funding to continue to keep their land trust program going. So this particular grant will fund the rehab and affordable resale of 12 homes as part of a planned 20-home project. And the note here is that even though the city of Minnetonka is the applicant for the project, those homes can be purchased and rehabbed in any livable communities eligible community within Hennepin County, so that could have a much broader geographic reach than just Minnetonka. As a City of St. Paul employee, I did not score either of the City of St. Paul proposals. I would have given them very high marks. But within St. Paul, 2 projects, one called the Beasley at 642 Selby. The LCD grant will fund 15 condos within a 20 condo mixed-use development in Rondo. This creates a style of affordable homeownership opportunity that we don't see a lot in affordable new build condos. And of course, Selby is right on the brand new open B-line and near and has access to many different amenities. Within St. Paul as well, the Serenity Townhomes project, the LCDA grant will fund 14 townhomes within a 19 townhome project. Those homes will be energy efficient and also use solar panels and heat pumps, which will reduce its overall carbon footprint.
So we're happy to answer any questions, but the recommendation that our staff and the Livable Communities Advisory Committee is bringing forward for you today is to award 6 Livable Communities Demonstration Account Affordable Homeownership Grants, that's a mouthful, totaling $3 million as outlined in the Table 1 of your business item, and to authorize the Executive Director of Community Development to execute those grant agreements on behalf of the council.
Thank you so much for the presentation of these projects and for all of the work that has been done to review, score, and to make recommendations for our committee's considerations and to move on to the council. These are just warming our hearts right at this point in time, I know. I'll turn to council members for questions or comments. Councilmember Lee.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. On slide 6, this part goes into the weeds, but the last point in the Maplewood project says that this is the second partnership between.
Councilmember? I'm so sorry, I'm having difficulty hearing.
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't know if anybody else is.
The last bullet says it's the second partnership between the city and the Habitat to restart stalled projects on vacant land. Is the project stalling, is that a technical issue or is that a funding issue?
That's an excellent question. I might turn to our representative from Habitat for Humanity who's here. Do you know why BB Meadows was stalled?
This is a separate project.
Yeah. Okay. So the context is the second project is called BB Meadows. The Livable Communities Program funded it last year. And so you have this reputation now with the city of Maplewood to help restart kind of stalled development projects. And so if there's council members wondering if there's a reason why those projects are stalling before you get to them.
Yes, so thank you, council member, for the question. So just wanting to clarify that the stalled project was not a Habitat project. Habitat has come in and started to work on the stalled projects. I will be honest that the stalling of the BB Meadows project happened before I was at Habitat, so I don't know that I can provide you a great response to that. I know that with the Maplewood project, these homes have been vacant or this land has been vacant for a number of years, and we are excited that this funding will actually help start the development of these lots. The configuration of the lots and the lot lines are a little haphazard, I guess we could say. So it could be that there are some issues related to the underlying property that needed to be resolved and need to be resolved in order for development to happen on them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Councilmember. And thank you for the response and the work to get this going. Councilmember Wolf and then Councilmember Lindstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not a question, just a comment that it's nice to see the condos as another option for home ownership, especially for smaller households. It said they were 1 and 2 bedroom condos. It's nice to have that other option.
Yeah, thanks, Councilmember. We're also excited, and these are long-term partnerships, so we're excited to learn too from these new investments.
Yeah, that's close to me, am I? Councilmember Lindstrom.
First of all, thanks for your service on the advisory committee. I know you're not in it for the glory. Unlikely, at least, so appreciate that. And I also appreciate the strategy that the committee is recommending with funding the maximum amount of homes, sometimes at a diminished rate, but I assume that's leveraging other funds that the city may have at its disposal. So I recall in previous years there were some, I think we would fund all of it or the vast majority of it, and there were some eye-popping numbers of per home amounts that we were recommending. And here I'm looking at like Minnetonka, which stood out in years past, it was like $500,000, $600,000 per home. And here it's 12 well, at least for one of them, 12 homes, $300,000. I mean, that's a lot of homes that, per home. That's very reasonable. We're making our money stretch, it seems like. So thanks for that recommendation. I think it's a wise one. That's it. I guess it's more of a comment than a question. So.
Thank you.
Thank you for the observation. Councilmember Chambers.
It looks like, yeah, you were right. You do have the support of the council members on these projects. I was just having lunch near Selby Dale, and it brings back memories from when I used to go through that area to take piano lessons or get my hair done, and to see that community still thriving is awesome. Seeing the beelines going down the street every 10 minutes while I'm having my coffee and lunch was great. I too like the idea that there are options for condominiums and townhomes. That's an avenue for affordability, and it also helps for seniors who want to downsize as well, or are looking for affordability. So that's great.
Indeed. Thank you. Councilmember Lindstrom again.
I was just thinking about the 15-year minimum. And you mentioned that's the minimum, but many of them are, or several of them are higher. And I'm just hoping you can expound upon that a little bit. Like, what are some of the maximum lengths that you're seeing, or what's kind of the variation, and why are some longer and some are shorter, and is 15 years the right amount?
Sure, yeah.
For a minimum.
Yeah. Thank you, Councilmember. That's a great question. So the longest affordability term we tend to see is through projects that are partnering or run through a community land trust, which uses the 99-year ground lease. So the owner will own the home, and the nonprofit land trust will own the land, helping with that affordability and guaranteeing that on resale it's going back to a homeowner that meets the affordability criteria. Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity, or all the Habitats for Humanity, have other programs, including restrictive covenants and supportive subordinate mortgages that help maintain that affordability level, typically more tied to that traditional 30-year mortgage. And then I'd welcome any comments that Director Barajas has on this, since she predates my experience here at the council. But I believe the 15-year minimum, it's set across all of our programs, so that includes some of our multifamily projects where some of the federal funding sources have that requirement tied in. And so for simplicity, we set that as the minimum. But one of the other Livable Communities Advisory Committee members noted that one of the challenges in making the recommendation this year is that so many of the projects are being supported by a community land trust that there's not a lot of differentiation in there. Everybody's getting the maximum number of points on that because they're so far exceeding that minimum 15 years. So it's good to see, but definitely continues to have us question our practices and make sure we're setting the most reasonable minimums. So thank you for that question.
And it really is good to see the opportunity to support those kinds of partnerships that really do look out for the community need and ensure the affordability for us, and to see that those organizations are able to come forward with these projects for support is just really a good thing for us. Let me see if there are additional questions before we move on, comments or reflections. Again, thank you so very much for all of the work that has been done, for the partners coming forward, for the recommendations being made, and all of the work of our community in this regard. I would ask if there is a motion that can be presented in accordance with the recommendation that we would recommend awarding the 6 Livable Communities Demonstration Account Affordable Home Ownership Grants totaling $3 million. And that we would authorize the Executive Director of Community Development to execute the grant agreements on behalf of the council. That would be our recommendation. Thank you.
Second by Wolf.
Councilmember Lindstrom first, then Councilmember Wolf second. Are there any other comments or questions before we move to the vote? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And we happily support this recommendation. Thank you so very, very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I am realizing that this is kind of like record speed. We are actually at the end of our non-consent business. I'll turn to Director Barajas to see if there's any additional information for the committee.
I would just share that we're thankful to have Valerie Quarles join us today as a member of LCAC. She started with the council many years ago as an intern, so we're really glad to see her progress in her career and be back in front of us in her profession. So thank you, Valerie. That's all I have to share today.
Thank you very much. All right, so if there is no further business, and I see on the agenda that there isn't, we are ready to adjourn our meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you.